Hey everyone, welcome back. The only two psychological signs that expose fake friends, Carl Jung. Carl Jung once said something that will completely change how you see your relationships forever. He identified exactly two psychological signs that reveal when someone is not truly your friend. And here's the shocking part. Most people miss these signs entirely, sometimes for years, even decades. By the end of this video, you'll have psychological X-ray vision into people's true intentions. You'll never be fooled by fake friends again. But I have to warn you, once you see these signs, you can't unsee them. Are you ready for that level of clarity? Let me tell you about Sarah. She thought she had found her best friend in college. Someone who was always there, always supportive, always interested in her life. For 3 years, they were inseparable. Until one day, Sarah discovered something that shattered her worldview entirely. Her best friend had been secretly undermining her behind her back, spreading rumors and even trying to steal her romantic interests. The worst part? All the warning signs were there from day one. Sarah just didn't know what to look for. Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychiatrist who founded analytical psychology, spent decades studying human nature. He discovered that fake friends reveal themselves through two specific psychological patterns. And once you understand these patterns, you'll spot them instantly. We're going to dive deep into Jung's psychological insights. You'll learn the two unmistakable signs of fake friends that Jung identified. Real-life examples and case studies that will shock you. The psychological mechanisms behind why people become fake friends. How to protect yourself without becoming paranoid or closed off. The difference between healthy boundaries and toxic relationships. And most importantly, how to attract genuine, authentic friendships. This isn't just theory. This is practical psychology that will transform your relationships starting today. If you're ready to master the psychology of relationships, hit that like button now, and let's dive in. And make sure to subscribe, because we're going deep into psychological insights that most people never learn. Main content, Section 1. Understanding Jung's psychology. Before we reveal Jung's two signs, we need to understand something crucial about human psychology that Jung discovered. Unlike other psychologists of his time, Jung didn't just study mental illness. He studied the depths of normal human behavior. Think of human relationships like an iceberg. What most people see, the words people say, the surface actions, that's just the tip. But Jung discovered that the real truth about someone's intentions lies beneath the surface in what he called the unconscious mind. Jung's second sign is what he called shadow projection. And this one is absolutely mind-blowing. Once you understand this concept, you'll see it everywhere, and you'll never be manipulated the same way again. This sign is subtle, which is why most people miss it. But it's also the most accurate predictor of fake friendship that Jung ever discovered. First, let me explain what Jung meant by projection. In psychology, projection is when we unconsciously assume other people have the same motivations, thoughts, or behaviors that we do. For instance, an honest person naturally assumes others are honest too. A generous person assumes others are generous. This is normal and healthy projection. But fake friends engage in what Jung called shadow projection. They unconsciously assume that everyone else is as selfish, manipulative, or dishonest as they are. And here's the key. They reveal this through specific patterns in how they talk about other people. Jung realized that fake friends consistently project their own shadow traits onto others. They assume everyone has ulterior motives because they always have ulterior motives. They think everyone is manipulative because they're manipulative. Let me share the story of Lisa and her friend Jennifer. Lisa couldn't figure out why she always felt suspicious and paranoid. After talking to Jennifer, even though Jennifer seemed caring and concerned, Jennifer had a specific way of talking about other people. She always assumed the worst about people's motives. She would say things like, "I bet she's only being nice because she wants something." She constantly warned Lisa about fake people who were supposedly trying to use her. She interpreted innocent actions as manipulative schemes. Lisa eventually realized that Jennifer was describing her own behavior patterns. Jennifer was the one with ulterior motives, so she assumed everyone else did too. Jung would say Jennifer was projecting her shadow self onto everyone around her. Here are Jung's specific indicators of shadow projection in fake friends. Sign 2A, constant suspicion of others. They regularly express suspicion about other people's motives, especially people who are kind to you. Sign 2B, the everyone is fake narrative. They frequently talk about how fake or manipulative other people are, positioning themselves as the only genuine person in your life. Sign 2C, poisoning your other relationships. They subtly plant seeds of doubt about your other friends, family members, or romantic partners. Sign 2D, playing the victim while being the aggressor. They consistently portray themselves as victims of other people's bad behavior while engaging in the same behavior themselves. Jung discovered something profound about shadow projection. Fake friends don't realize they're doing it. Their unconscious mind is protecting their ego by assuming everyone else has the same dark motivations they do. This is why shadow projection is so dangerous in friendships. The fake friend genuinely believes they're protecting you from all those fake people. While being fake themselves, they create a psychological bubble where only their relationship with you is real and trustworthy. If you have a friend who constantly warns you about other people while positioning themselves as your only true ally, Jung would say you're experiencing shadow projection. This person is revealing their own shadow self through their suspicions about others. Now that you understand both of Jung's psychological signs, let's see how they work together in real relationships. Fake friends rarely exhibit just one sign. They usually display both emotional vampirism and shadow projection simultaneously. Remember Sarah from the beginning? Her best friend displayed both signs perfectly. Emotional vampirism. Every interaction left Sarah feeling drained while her friend felt superior. Shadow projection. Her friend constantly warned Sarah about fake people while being fake herself. Recognizing these signs is just the first step. Here's Jung's approach to handling fake friends. Step 1. Trust your psychological instincts. If someone consistently drains your energy and makes you suspicious of others, trust that feeling. Jung believed our unconscious mind often recognizes fake behavior before our conscious mind does. Step 2. The gradual withdrawal. Don't confront fake friends directly. Jung observed that this usually backfires. Instead, gradually reduce your emotional investment and availability. Step 3. Protect your other relationships. Don't let shadow projectors poison your relationships with genuinely supportive people. Step 4. Focus on emotional reciprocity. Invest more time in relationships where you feel energized and mutually supported. Jung was very clear about this. Understanding these signs shouldn't make you paranoid or closed off. The goal isn't to suspect everyone. It's to recognize patterns in people who consistently exhibit both behaviors. Remember, everyone has moments of being emotionally draining or overly suspicious. Jung's signs only matter when they're consistent patterns. A true friend might have a bad day or go through a phase, but they'll generally show emotional reciprocity and positive assumptions about people. Use Jung's insights not to push people away, but to invest your energy in relationships that truly nourish you. When you stop giving energy to fake friends, you have more energy for real friends. Carl Jung spent his life studying human nature, and his insights into fake friendship are as relevant today as they were a century ago. Remember his 2 psychological signs. Emotional vampirism. They consistently drain your energy while feeding off your emotional investment. Shadow projection. They assume everyone else has dark motives while positioning themselves as your only true friend. These signs are psychological universal patterns. Once you recognize them, you'll see them clearly in any relationship. You deserve friendships that energize you, support you, and celebrate your success. You deserve friends who see the best in people and bring out the best in you. Jung's insights give you the power to distinguish between people who genuinely care about you and those who are simply using you. If this video helped you recognize patterns in your own relationships, let me know in the comments. Share which of Jung's signs resonated most with you. Was it emotional vampirism, shadow projection, or both? And if you want more psychological insights that will transform your relationships, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We dive deep into practical psychology that most people never learn. Remember, understanding human nature isn't about becoming cynical. It's about becoming wise. Use Jung's insights to build a life, surrounded by people who truly value and support you. Watch this next video where we explore Jung's secrets to attracting genuine friendships, or check out this playlist on psychological insights for better relationships. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Carl Gustav Jung wasn't just any psychologist. He was Sigmund Freud's protege who eventually surpassed his mentor. Jung worked with thousands of patients, studied cultures across the world, and developed theories that are still used in psychology today. Jung noticed something fascinating in his practice. Patients would come to him talking about relationship problems, but they always focused on what the other person did wrong. Jung realized that people were missing the psychological signs that would have warned them early on. After decades of observation, Jung identified patterns. He found that fake friends, people who pretend to care but actually have selfish motives, always reveal themselves through specific psychological behaviors. And here's what's brilliant about Jung's approach. These signs appear, regardless of culture, age, or background. But first, let's understand what Jung meant by a fake friend. This isn't just someone who's having a bad day or going through a rough patch. A fake friend is someone who maintains a relationship, primarily for their own benefit, while pretending to care about yours. We all know these people. The friend who only calls when they need something. The person who's competitive with you instead of supportive. Someone who seems interested in your problems but never actually helps. The friend who disappears when you're going through tough times. Jung discovered that fake friends operate from what he called the shadow self, the part of our personality that contains our selfish, manipulative tendencies. The scary part? Many fake friends don't even realize they're being fake. Their shadow self is driving their behavior unconsciously. Now, after studying thousands of cases, Jung identified 2 psychological signs that expose fake friends with almost 100% accuracy. These signs are so reliable that once you learn them, you'll wonder how you ever missed them before. Main Content Section 2. The first psychological sign. The first psychological sign Jung identified is what he called emotional vampirism, but not in the way you might think. This goes much deeper than just someone being needy or draining. I want you to think about your friendships right now. Is there someone who always makes the conversation about them? Someone who seems to feed off your emotional energy but never gives anything back? Hold that person in your mind as we explore this first sign. Jung noticed that fake friends have a specific psychological pattern. They're emotionally parasitic. They don't just take more than they give. They actually seem to gain energy from your emotional investment while leaving you feeling drained. Here's how it works in the brain. Genuine friends have what Jung called emotional reciprocity. When you share something important, they feel genuine empathy, which creates a two-way emotional exchange. You both benefit, but fake friends operate differently. When you share your problems, they're not feeling empathy, they're feeling superiority. When you share your successes, they're not feeling joy for you, they're feeling threatened or envious. This creates a one-way emotional drain. Let me tell you about Mark and his best friend. David and Mark always wondered why he felt exhausted after spending time with David. Even though David seemed like a supportive friend, every conversation followed the same pattern. Mark would share a problem, and David would listen intently. But David's advice was always subtly undermining or discouraging. When Mark shared good news, David would find ways to diminish it. David would then steer the conversation to his own issues. Mark would leave feeling worse about his own life but convinced David was a great friend. It took Mark years to realize what was happening. David wasn't supporting him. David was feeding off his emotional energy. Every conversation made David feel better about his own life by comparison, while making Mark feel worse about his. Here are the specific signs Jung identified for emotional vampirism. Sign 1A. The energy drain test. After spending time with this person, you consistently feel more tired, anxious, or negative than before. This isn't occasional. It's a pattern. Sign 1B, the conversation hijack. They have an unconscious ability to make every conversation about them, even when you're going through something important. Sign 1C, the subtle undermining. Their advice or responses subtly make you feel worse about yourself or your situations, often disguised as being realistic or trying to help. Sign 1D, the competitive empathy. When you share problems, they always have a bigger problem. When you share success, they find ways to minimize it or redirect to their own achievements. Right now, I want you to do something. Think about your last 5 conversations with someone you suspect might be a fake friend. Ask yourself, did you feel better or worse after each conversation? How much of the conversation was about you versus them? Did their responses make you feel supported or subtly criticized? Did you leave feeling energized by their friendship or drained? If you're answering mostly negative to these questions, you've just identified Jung's first sign. But don't worry. We're going to talk about what to do about it later in this video. Now,